What? Nobody wanna chat, yeah. Nobody wanna chat,
Yo, what's good everyone? This is Between the Lines. It's your homie Kwan.
And it's your boy Zeus.
And you're back again with another chapter review of 1064.
Now before we get into the chapter, make sure you at home like, share, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and support your favourite new kids on the block. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers by December. May not sound like a lot to you, but it's a lot to us, so make sure you do all of that and support the boys, man.
So, the way this is going to work is we're going to talk about the main things that happen in this chapter, and at the end of the video we're going to take a closer look between the lines and discuss and analyse what we think of the things that are actually going to happen in the future.
So starting off with the cover story, and I can't lie, this week's a juicy one. We got Kuzan and Van Orga looking like they've arrived at Blackbeard ship and they've got none other than Pudding. Now with Kuzan showing up with Pudding on Blackbeard ship, this kind of gives us an indication of where his allegiances lie. It's looking like the identity of the 10th Titanic captain is becoming more apparent every cover story. I can't lie, what's really getting me gassed is that this is the first time that we've seen a cover story sort of align with the current chapter. What's also confirmed is that Kuzan and Van Orga were the two silhouettes that we saw approaching Whole Cake Island a couple of chapters ago in the cover story. Now, I can't lie, your boy Kuzan's coming through with the new season drip like everyone else, and it's safe to say he's keeping up.
So we get straight into the chapter with Blackbeard and Law facing off. We see Law in a different light in this chapter as he's cool, calm and collected and ordering his crew around like he knows what he's doing. This is the first time we've actually seen Law dish out orders and they're actually being followed. Law doesn't play any games as he goes straight into Awakening. Law is able to damage stronger, but Blackbeard comes back with an attack of his own. We get introduced to a named attack from Blackbeard, Quake Crash, and he seems to deal a lot of damage to Law's crew. I can't lie people, this is a top tier caliber Devil Fruit clash. People are flying, people are crashing, these people are going all out. And I can't lie, I'm proud of the Heart Pirates because they're showing some real heart right now. As we continue, Doc Q throws up his apples around that we see him back in Jaya. And we see Sachi, who's done nothing in 1,000 chapters or so, go all out and show what he's capable of. It seems that the Heart Pirates are strongest in the water.
Now, we're giving Law a whole lot of flowers now, but I'll be so real. Credit where credit is due. The Heart Pirates are putting it out of the bag. Last week I was calling them no Heart Pirates. This week they're showing nothing but heart. If we take a look at the faith that Law has in his crew, it not only shows his competence as a leader, but their competence as a crew. This leads me to a point that I can't believe we haven't thought of before. Law's ship is a submarine, so it makes sense that his crew has proficiency underwater, and this is what they're showing off right now. Somehow, Oda has made it so that the Heart Pirates are actually an effective and interesting matchup for the Blackbeard Pirates, and they're holding their own for the moment. I don't know about you lot, but I did not see this coming. We even got Sachi down there in the corner, flexing, mouthing off, telling them that they ain't really got a chance out here in the water. They're from the North Blue, they really like that. This is their territory. You ain't got a chance against us in a sea battle, he's saying. They're really about it out here. And what's good to see is Beppo stepping up and taking the reins as first commander and being the second to issue out orders, and like clockwork, Jumba just follows and has Law's back and provides cover. Seeing how smoothly this crew operates together kind of reminded me of when we saw the Straw Hats together for the first time, minus Luffy, at Yasuri's execution, where Zoro took up the role of first mate and the Straw Hats were working together like a well-oiled machine. This goes to show that what the Heart Pirates may lack in fancy abilities and base power levels, they make up for in teamwork and coming together as a solid unit. This is something that Van Orga even recognises when he remarks that this is what happens when the Blackbeard Pirates just charged in without making a plan after Blackbeard gets got by one of Law's trickier moves, Shock Willie. Blackbeard's even down for a sec, looking seriously hurt, bleeding and all sorts. This is now the second Yonko that Law's caught lacking with this Awakening, showing that he's really out here in the new world, not being one to play with. Law and Blackbeard start exchanging words, and Law basically starts drawing him out, telling him that what a stupid idea it is to have a crew entirely made up of Devil Fruit users, as they've obviously got drawbacks. But Blackbeard ain't even trying to hear it. He's already set pace and he ain't leaving until he's finished what he started. Over on Blackbeard's ship, we see some low-level goons trying to intimidate someone behind bars. As we scroll down, we see it's Pudding, as in it's actually Pudding, the same Pudding that we've just seen in the cover story. Like, this is what I mean, in real time, Oda's now mixing cover story with the story that we are following. Obviously, she ain't intimidated by these sendouts. She's there sitting comfy, telling them that if her mum finds out about this, boy, they're done. Furthermore, if mum don't come back, the man who killed her is up there and he's the one up against. At this point, Law's got the clout of a Yonko killer, and in the next panel we see him in, he's in a Yonko level clash. The boy, Law stocks it up right now, and just love to see it. Now, in this clash, we're seeing these black sparks that we've come to know usually come with Conqueror, Haki kind of clash, as we saw with Luffy versus Kaido and Whitebeard versus Roger. However, because this is the Quake fruit, this could be cracks coming from Blackbeard's ability. So in my opinion, Conqueror's Haki still is a confirm for these two. Now, in the last little panel, we see Law slide on the back foot and Blackbeard's about to start getting mixy with the Yummy Yummy Nomi. Like I said at the end of the last chapter, it's not looking good though.
We go to the Marine HQ and we see Akainu complaining about being Fleet Admiral. To be fair though, he's had a terrible run as Fleet Admiral. He's had the threat of two Yonkos teaming up. He had two Yonkos being overthrown with arguably more threatening pirates. He had an abolishment of the Shishibukai. He reminds me of some of our world leaders during a certain virus 2 years ago. Boris Johnson. But I would say no one asked you to be Fleet Admiral, bro. However, it's good to see that Marines have their ear to the streets and know what's happening around the world. We go back to Egghead Island and see that Luffy and the group have been able to lose the Pacifists with the help of Bonnie's powers. With Bonnie's help, she turned Luffy and Chopper into old men and Jinbe into a handsome young fisherman. It looks like the SBSs have finally been made canon, as we've seen some of these designs before. However, we get some more insight into Kuma's past. Jinbe states that the image that was portrayed of Kuma was one of an evil king. However, Bonnie clarifies and gives us, the readers, more context. She states that Kuma hated the world government and that he was imprisoned for life for being affiliated with revolutionaries. However, something happened and Kuma allowed himself to be turned into a cyborg. Bonnie thinks that being turned into a cyborg and having your memories erased is as good as death. Bonnie herself doesn't know why Kuma let himself be turned into a cyborg, but one can speculate that it has something to do with the fact that Kuma is from a special race. Once the Mandem hear this, they're all ready to jump into action and help Bonnie out. As she's dropping this information, Bonnie picks up a lightsaber she finds lying around. The force is therefore strong in this one. It seems like Vegapunk is just leaving quote-unquote failed experiments lying around, so we can assume that destroyers are gonna therefore get a power up in this arc. And we can speculate the reason that Bonnie's come to Egghead is to take down Vegapunk and revenge her father.
Over to the B team now, and the destroyers are being taken up by the Iron Giant and they're being given a tour of Egghead Island. They're heading straight for the Fabrication Stratum, which looks like the main HQ for the Island of Future and where all the magic happens. It's kind of like a behind the scenes if you think about it. They reach the top and City Girl Lilith is giving them a further explanation of how things work and how things run around here. We get a nice little throwback to Sky PR as the Straws are bouncing around in the clouds. This is also when Frankie reminds us that he ain't never been to Sky PR, so we don't know what these men are on about. But Vegapunk's near, so he's here for the vibe and he's just with it. I don't know if it's just me, but even the way that Oda's drawn Frankie, he looks the most excited as he's running around. Like he can feel that this is his art, this is his time to shine, and he's the one about to get upgrades. Lilith takes the Straw Hats on a shopping trip after basically telling them that they look dusty and they need to level up if they're going to be seen walking around with her in her bits. This is when we see part 2 of the Vegapunk 2022 Autumn Collection, and the Straw Hats are flexing their stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I got a couple things to say about the collection, so bear with me for a sec. Now, Sanji's thing, I'm not gonna lie, to me it looks the most wearable. Trousers are kind of hard, short, sorry, something I can't even lie, something I'd rock. Usopp's jacket's hard. Not too sure about the pant combo, but altogether it's just a solid fit from Usopp, and the ladies are just killing it. But I'm not gonna lie though, Oda, it's a bit creepy though, like it's not wearing much. And to be fair, we don't know the temperature around here, so it could be practical, but these girls are out here in them panties, bro. I ain't complaining, but this is a bit mad though. Got these girls all skin out and
skin out me pum pum, pan the body me a wine and up.
From these fits alone, I already know that my boy Sanji is gonna be a mess this up. But it keeps it together just long enough to let Frankie know that his outfit just ain't it.
I can't lie, Suze, it's a hot mess. So the chapter concludes with number 1, aka Shaka, aka Logic, aka The Good, talking to none other than Monkey D. Dragon. He states that the problem with being a genius is that you can see your future coming too, which doesn't seem good for him right now. And he can see his death coming. These guys are talking like old friends, and it's therefore telling about what kind of relationship these two have. It it's time to take a closer look between the lines. The fact that Vegapunk is talking to Dragon like an old friend insinuates that they have some sort of relationship. Vegapunk said that he can see into the future and he can see his death coming soon, suggests to us that the CP0 agents that we saw a couple chapters ago, aka Rob Lucy, are more likely than not going to get down and dirty and actually be able to take one of these men down. Obviously we don't know which Vegapunk they're going to take down, but it seems like one of the Vegapunks is definitely dropping this arc. Rob Lucy speculated that the fact that the world government wants Vegapunk dead has something to do with the incident that happened in Lucia Kingdom. So CP0's interest in Vegapunk can highlight his involvement in the weapon and incident that happened in Lucia Kingdom.
On the topic of kingdoms, let's take a little look at what's being said about Kuma here, the tyrannical king. Now here we've got a case of what I like to call perception versus reality. We've got Jinbei using his credibility as a warlord to give us more explanation as to what the world thinks of Kuma, the story that's been painted of him, this tyrannical king that did countless crimes in his kingdom and has basically been exiled to work for the world government. But here we get the other side of the story, his daughter's story. Now this might be a little biased as she looks like daddy's little girl and her image of her dad might be one that's kind of, rose tinted, but this is a very interesting theme that does go up throughout One Piece of the perception of pirates throughout the greater world, and we don't actually know what's going on, and the world government really does paint a picture of the pirates that are in it. And when you look at it, it's very interesting that Bonnie has turned Jinbei to this age specifically. Now we don't know the exact age, but it looks like when Jinbei was a young fisherman, and this would be in keeping with the Seraphim theme that we've been seeing throughout, as Jinbei was a warlord, meaning that he would meet the criteria. This could be Oda's way of giving us a little bit of foreshadowing.
Now last week I threw a theory out there saying that Blackbeard might have the last robe poneglyph. However, based on today's cover story and what we see in the chapter today, we could speculate that the poneglyph that Law was talking about, that they were fighting for, could be Big Mom's. So Law's statement that the winner takes all makes more sense because they both have something to gain from this, since Law doesn't actually have Big Mom's poneglyph. In addition, even though we've seen Blackbeard and the Blackbeard pirates on a back foot this chapter, I don't believe that Law is going to win this fight. This is not the first time we've seen Blackbeard take damage, and usually he is the first one to hold a bang in the fight. We've seen this with Ace, Luffy, Magellan, Whitebeard, the Seraphim. At this point, Thatch might even have landed a bang. But like I said, if Law doesn't win this fight, and if he loses, Blackbeard will have 3 characters that are highly associated with Luffy and the Straw Hats, giving them more of a reason to actually clash and back their bedroom and show us the readers why these are the guys that we are following. So obviously that's all from us. Unfortunately next week is a break, however there's been so much information in this chapter that I feel like Oda deserves this break.
Oda's really doing a great job right now of juggling all these different plot threads and making them link together. As much as we love to see it, at the rate he's going at, he's gonna burn himself out. So yeah, rest up big man.
But you guys let us know what you think in the comments down below.
And share and all the rest of that YouTube stuff. You lot remember, we're really trying to get to 100 subscribers and we need you lot's help for that.
So obviously it's been your homie Kwan
And your boy Zeus.
and thank you for listening to us. This has been Between the Lines.
Till next time, keep it 1.